Good evening. My name is Tammy Severino, and I am the Director of Development and Marketing, the consultant to La Fuerza CDC, which is a nonprofit in Nassau County that serves both Nassau and Suffolk County small business owners who are in need of both access to capital and or technical assistance on all areas related to their business. And we are grateful to the Port Washington Library for having us for this series on marketing techniques and marketing issues that are related to your business to help you grow your business. And I am going to share my screen so that we can get started with this evening's topic, which is SEO analytics for your business. So let's get the slideshow started. Here we go. So again, tonight is SEO Analytics, a guide to tracking your results for business success. If you have any questions, feel free to put them into the chat. At the end of the presentation, I will leave room for questions and answers. You can either take yourself off mute at that time and ask any questions you may have, or you can pop them into the chat, and my contact information will be shown at the end as well. If any questions pop up for you following the presentation, you can feel free to reach out to me, and I will get back to you. I try to get back to everyone within 24 hours so that your questions can get answered promptly. So here we go. So what is SEO analytics? So it's defined as a method of collecting, tracking, and analyzing your market data about you or your business with a primary aim of growing organic traffic to your business. And why is SEO analysis useful? The analytics are particularly useful because it allows you to identify opportunities to improve. So you'll get a deeper understanding of your website's data and ultimately be able to maximize your return on investment for your SEO efforts. And at the end of the day, you want to make sure you're not wasting your time, you're not wasting your dollars. So the data that you will receive will allow you to modify or tweak what you've got going on in your website so that you are getting the most bang for your buck. So why bother? Is analyzing the data really that important? And I have heard people ask that, but I want to go over with you here. The SEO analytics are based on data that's collected from your company's website. It's going to help you keep your analysis free of guesswork. Shooting from the hip is never a good idea. So you're taking out the guesswork, you're taking out individual opinions or politics, you're taking out a particular client's preferences, or phases of the moon, and it's strictly data driven. So it's like following the science. This is following the data, and it makes it very easy to assess your data based on search patterns, audience behavior, and interests. Those are the three areas of focus in your SEO analytics. All parts of your business need regular assessment so that you can determine how well they're working. The brands that you carry, customer service that's provided, everything. SEO is not an exception to that. You need to be aware of your current website situation, assess the reasons for it, and know the good reasons and the bad so that you can continue to tweak, because your website should also not be static. You want your website to be dynamic so that you are going to have return visitors to your website. So you want to assess where you are currently and then be able to continue to modify. So you're going to keeping your performance data in one place means that you can detect the problems and you can plan actionable fixes. That means you can go in and you can target what those fixes need to be very specifically. You're going to know what actions you need to take. You can predict potential outcomes of your efforts with SEO, and that will help you to improve your rankings with the search engines. So if you're still not convinced, I would ask you to consider these facts. Approximately 67% of all clicks in a search go to the first 5 organic results in a search engine. So if you type, you look for something in particular. So you're looking for pet shop near me. You're going to get the advertised ones, the ones that are paid search up top, and then you're going to get organic search after that. 67% of folks who will click those organic results are going to click the first 5. So a typical internet surfer does not look beyond the middle of the first page of results. So while advertising gets a greater allocation in terms of a total spend, businesses are more than ever steering away from paid ads in search of organic results, because that tells you how you're really doing. It's great if you're paying for it and driving business that way to your website. But for those who are trying to do a little, think of it as sweat equity. If you're putting the energy into your website, you're going to naturally come up higher in those search engine results. That's organic results, and that is going to help you to have traffic driven to your websites without that paid advertisement. So this way you can do both as part of your overall strategy. But if you, like I said, you do see more businesses that are trying to look for organic results and opposed to consistently paying for ads. So this is a way for you to ensure that your results are going to help you go up in that organic space and be able to get part of those first 5 locations so that people are clicking on your business. So how do you reach the first page to increase your ability to drive more traffic to your website? And like I said, you cannot expect any one strategy to be the end all be all. So you have to plan to regularly measure your performance for your search engine optimization. You have to change what isn't working, continue with what is working, but remember that what's working today, 6 months from now, may not be the thing. So that's why you have to consistently measure, tweak, and go forward. And then again, it's wash, rinse, repeat. So how do the analytics help you to improve your SEO? So let's talk about that. Having an effective analytics process for your SEO enables you to do several things. It helps you to know what's going on with your website, what's working, what isn't. It helps you to know why it's going on. So you're gonna find out like which pieces may have been working, they're not working now, why was it, but now it isn't, why is it improving, things like that. You're gonna find any gaps in what you have on your website that maybe would help you to increase your performance. It's going to identify opportunities for your website to improve. It's going to help you determine how to act on the insight that you're going to get from all of this data. And it's going to help you to estimate. As you get good with looking at your results, you're going to improve on how you can estimate what the expected outcomes are of particular actions. So a change that you make to your website, it's going to help you to pretty well position yourself that you'll know this is going to benefit my website a little, a lot. You'll be able to gauge that. So analytics versus keywords. You need to recognize that the two are not the same thing. So SEO analytics is using your own data about your own marketing. Keyword research looks at what others are searching for and where your website ranks. Or it looks at ranking positions of your published content versus published content on other competitive sites. So you can see they're very, very different terms and very different meanings. So for this particular webinar, we're going to focus more on the SEO analytics. Keywords, I do want you to realize, are very important when you're writing a blog. If you're trying to gear people towards a particular one or two words, you would do that. You want to make sure those words are used frequently in your blog. You want to make sure they're used on your website so that it's driving people who search those words to your website, or it's going to gauge whether or not someone else is using them more effectively than you are, and that's why the traffic is going there versus to you. But we're going to look more at SEO. So tools, free or paid. So there's a lot of paid options on the market, but some folks believe that you do not need to pay for your analytics. Google is the largest search engine in the marketplace, and it all comes down to how Google thinks you're doing. Google has free analytic tools. So I would recommend that you begin there. Before you start paying for something, use what Google is making available to you at no cost. But I would like to talk a little bit about some paid analytics, then we'll get back over to Google. So that you are aware, there are more than 200 analytic tools available if you wanted to go buy them. The marketplace is quite robust. They tend to be used with greater regularity by marketing professionals. So if you were to hire someone for your business to do marketing, they would likely be using a paid analytics tool in conjunction with Google. Marketing professionals typically recommend that 10% of your total spending on your advertising and marketing be spent on analytics, that you allocate 10% over to analysis. So 90% you're spending on your marketing, your advertising, and 10%, let's check and see how it's going. I personally think that's a good blend. And some of those top paid analytic tools include SEMrush, SE Ranking, Moz Pro, and Ahrefs. These are really strong tools. There are others that are also very, very good. But like I said, for you, for now, if you're just getting your feet wet with this, I would start with Google Analytics. Yep, hang on, that did not click. There we go. So why Google Analytics? First and foremost, it's free. There are no gimmicks about this. They make the analytics free for you to assess. And it has, if not all, it has virtually all the analysis you're going to need for making decisions related to SEO for your website. It has lots and lots of data, and you can use all of that data and deploy your planning for your business based on that. So here are some things that Google Analytics can do for your business. So it can help you to create SEO related goals. So if you are ranking in a certain space and you want to move up, you can determine about how far you want to move based on making some changes over a particular window of time. So you can create your goals. You can track keywords, and that is an important thing. So in addition to the SEO, you can actually track specific keywords and see if those words are benefiting you in terms of your search engine optimization. You can compare organic and non-organic website visitors. So if you are paying for some Google search ads, you will be able to track the people who are coming to your website through that paid click versus people who are coming to your website organically. And you'll also be able to tell if a non-organic visitor returns over and over through organic search following that initial visit. You'll be able to segment organic visitors, which is really important. You want to analyze who's coming to your website. How often are they coming? Are they coming through a full computer? Are they coming through mobile devices? So you'll be able to segment mobile organic visitors. That's really important because more and more people are doing their research and their shopping right online through their mobile device. So you want to know how frequently, how easy is it for people to find you and get to you right through a mobile device. You can segment spam out of your reports. That's really important. So whether you're getting spam type visitors or whether you're landing in spam. So in both directions, if you're, this is a critical piece to be able to segment spam out of your analytics. You're going to be able to identify within your own website which content is performing the best, how frequently people are clicking on that particular information that's in your website. That way you'll know what's working and what you need to make more of because people are responding to it. It provides a multi-channel funnel report to ensure accurate sourcing of a visitor. So you have lots of different channels that you're using for your marketing. And this is going to give you a report that's showing you which avenue they're coming from. So you know if it's paid or organic, which ones are overperforming, which ones are underperforming, which are right where you thought they would be, and you can make decisions based on that. Items that are underperforming, channels that are not working for you, you don't need to spend, you might give them a little bit of time, but if you realize that month over month, they're just really not performing for you, you can shift and take them out, especially if they're paid. You can reallocate those resources to another platform or a sister platform of something else that is performing really well for you so that you have better reach. It breaks down non-sales page, try that again, non-sales page impressions with a content drill down tool. So on your website, you have pages that are for sales. You have others that are for informational content. And this is going to drill down your non-sales impressions throughout your website, where people are going to learn about your business. What are the things they're most interested in knowing about your company and you as part of your company, that is then driving them to inquire for a sale or going right to that sale. So this is going to allow you to track what's trending well individually within your website. That's a really, really important tool, the content drill down tool. So some more features. You can set up alerts. That's tremendous because that's going to be sending you information as it happens right on the fly for you. So you get certain hits that certain things are working and you'll be notified immediately. So it's not waiting for you to then go do an end of month report or an end of week report. You can see how Google views your website. And that is a really important feature as well. You can see how long people are spending on your site. That's referred to as dwell time. So did I click into your website, look at the homepage and bounce right out? Or did I click into your homepage and say, oh, interesting. And now I sort of click around different places on your site and I spent some time there learning about your business, learning about what you're selling, whether it's a product or a service. I really spent time there getting to know you. So that's, if you think of somebody coming in to browse in a store, they walk in, they look around, they walk out, versus someone who walked in and really started perusing the merchandise, maybe asking a question or two before they make some decisions. Conversion rates. Conversion rate is the amount of the percentage of folks who are landing there from whatever feature they're landing on your website and they're actually spending. So whether they sent an inquiry to get more information about a service, or they actually purchased a product. Or they might have purchased a service too, if it's something like a spa or a restaurant where you can buy a gift certificate or order something. So now once you've made that sale, that's your conversion. They are now a customer. So what percentage of folks are coming in as a prospect and converting over to a customer? It's going to track internal links. So an internal link is a spot on your website that drives you to it's a link to another spot within your same website, versus an external link, which is tracking a link that goes to another website. So whether it's a link from your site to another site, or someone else's site directly into yours. So it'll track both those internal and external links. It's going to manage your pay-per-click spend. PPC is pay-per-click. For those of you who are unfamiliar with that term, that is advertising where you set up a total amount that you are willing to spend. It can be $25, it could be $100, it could be $1,000. So whatever you're willing to spend on a particular space. So if you're paying for a Google search ad and you're going to spend $1 a click and you set up $100 budget, every time someone clicks on your link and goes into your website, it's going to deduct $1 from your total balance. So this is going to help you to manage that pay-per-click spend so that you know, okay, we had 100 people who clicked in over this window of time. And then again, looking at that conversion rate, how many of them became customers? How many of them lingered on your website? How many of them went from link to link within your website, so right on those internal links. So that spend is really an important piece to see how you're doing. You can track Google's freshness algorithm, how frequently you are updating the website, how frequently you are, your website appears as fresh and new, and there's dynamic information. Like I said before, it's going to look to see whether or not your website is dynamic or static. And that can be putting up new content. It could be putting up new products available for purchase. So that's part of that freshness. And track content with annotations. So if you are going to make a change to your website, you can actually annotate in your analytics piece, in your dashboard. You would be able to set up that I made a change on this page, and that's a particular feature that you want to track. So it can help you to do very, very specific targeted tracking and see how well those new features are doing. Okay, I'm going to move forward. So Google Search Console is a feature I wanted you to be very aware of. It is a free tool and it helps you optimize your website for search. It has a lot of information in there, including keywords, which ones you rank for, how you rank for those keywords, links to your content, how often people are clicking into your results for those particular keywords. So if I search a particular something, pet shop near me, and your pet shop shows up, am I clicking into it? Or is something about your description turning me off that I'm not clicking into it? So it's going to tell you when people put in a query and based on a particular keyword that you're hoping to be ranked for, and I'm not clicking, it's going to tell you there's something wrong right there. Or if people are clicking in very frequently, then okay, great, your search result is working for you. But if you can also assess then if there is, if you have lots of people clicking in, but they're not making purchases, what is going on in your website that people are then driving away from it, whether your prices are competitive, whether your website is friendly, and so on. It will also help you to identify any issues with your particular website, mechanical issues. So you may have crawl errors. Crawl errors are when you click on a page and it's slowly crawling across. You see the little line going, but it can't access that page. It will tell you that. Or it will tell you if there is what they call a manual action. Your website's been issued, let's say, a penalty by Google because you have violated some of their guidelines. There are certain guidelines that are set up by Google and you have to follow along with those. And if you have not, and you have been issued a penalty, it will tell you that there's a manual action there. And very important, as we said before, it will tell you right here if you are mobile friendly. If your website is difficult to use on a phone or a tablet, it will tell you that, because that can actually get someone who's gone into your website to immediately leave your website. It's too hard to move around in there. So getting started. What you would want to do is go to the website, and I actually have the link right here, and that will take you right to the console. You're going to create an account there. If you already have an account set up with Google Analytics, use those credentials, your login and your password there. If you have not yet set up Google Analytics, you can start right here in the Search Console. This is what it's going to look like. So to start, you select the property type, and here you have the URL goes in here, your website address, or like this if you have it as a prefix. Okay. So once you are logged in, you add that web address, either the domain or the URL prefix tab. So either one, verify that you own your site. If possible, verify ownership via the tracking ID. If you are on Google Analytics already, you have a tracking ID. And where you would find that, you go into your Google Analytics site, you log in, and then you're going to go, you navigate over here, you go to admin, you go to your property settings, God bless you, you go to your basic settings, and then your tracking ID will be there. So if you've already set up Google Analytics and you're setting up the Search Console, you take your tracking ID right out of Analytics, and you're going to put it into that, once you're logged into Google Search Console, you're going to put in your tracking ID. It will marry the two. So now you have one complete account, and that's all you need to do. When you log into Analytics next, you're going on the side tab, you're going to see the Search Console. So now it's blended as one more comprehensive search tool. So here are some of the features associated with Google Search Console. So first of all, you're going to find out which keywords your content and your website rank for. You can learn how users are interacting with results for your particular business. So they're going to be able to tell you the total number of clicks, the total number of impressions that people are getting, and the average CTR, which is your click-through rate. So you're going to be able to see how many of your website's individual pages are listed in the Google index. You can submit a page right to Google to be included in the index if it's not already there. So if you set up a blog and your blog is not yet indexing, you can submit your blog page to be part of Google's index, and now it'll start to track for that. You can see where your individual pages rank for particular keywords that are of benefit to your business. You can submit your website's sitemap, because when Google has your sitemap, now it's going to be able to better assess what should be indexed. It'll help you to ensure your pages are all mobile friendly. And we've talked about that a couple times. That is a critical component, particularly when you are selling. If your shopping area, your gallery is not mobile friendly and someone has to scroll back and forth and over, they're going to get tired of it and they're going to end up just leaving your site. You're going to see what websites have linked to your site as a reference. So you're being used as the source. You're going to identify unindexable pages, so which pages cannot be indexed and why, and it's going to help you to identify the crawl errors we talked about before, which of your pages are kind of showing as a dead link. And you're going to find out if your site has any penalties, because then you can correct that issue, and that will also help you with your search. So here's some tips. There is so much information available. Don't expect to be a superstar with it on day one. It takes a while. It takes getting used to what's available, which of the data groups are going to be most beneficial to you, and understand some, try and understand a few of them as you go along. You'll understand more of them and use that data to help enhance what you have on your website. But do try to keep it a bit simple, because otherwise you may very well get overwhelmed, especially at the onset. Don't be driven by one metric. Like I said, there's lots of information. There is no one metric that is defining everything you have in your website. So it's comprehensive, and it is important to look at multiple components there, multiple data metrics, to help you to decide how to make your decisions. Remember, day-to-day variations in the number are normal. Think of it, if you were on a diet and you got on the scale every single day, you're going to see little fluctuations, and often it's just water weight. But you want to look every Monday. If you're getting on the scale, that's going to tell you how you're really doing. So think of it the same way. Day-to-day fluctuations are normal, but check in regularly, check in quickly, look very consistently. So once a month might be a little light, but every day is way too much. If you were checking once a week, you can see how you're doing, and particularly if you're adding new content, you can check back in and see how it is doing. But do a monthly review of your strategy. The content you will use to reach your goals and the strategy you will use to reach your goals will start to walk hand in hand. And that monthly review is a great way to do it. So if your strategy over the next month is to do A, B, and C, then you marry it with the content that will help you to achieve those goals. And my final thought is that there should be no doubt that search engine optimization plays a really, really important role in helping you to increase the traffic, the number of people who are visiting your website. And like anything else in marketing and advertising, this is absolutely not a one and done. This is an ongoing process, because what your website has today is you're going to have statistics for how you're doing at this moment in time, but that doesn't speak to how you're doing next month or the month after that. So it is an ongoing process. Once you begin to use the analytics, plan to do this on a regular and consistent basis. So if you're going to look at it at the end of every month, if you're going to look at it at the end of every week, be consistent in that. Your SEO analytics will strengthen the process. It will provide you with comprehensive information that's going to help you to make really important and good decisions related to enhancing that website and bringing more prospects and more clients, customers to your website. And I'm happy to take questions and answers. Before we do that, I want to put up, this is my contact information. You can reach me at tammy@lafuerzacdc.org or at 631-834-1990. And like I said, I try and get back to everyone within 24 hours. So I am going to end the share and come back to our main screen, and I am happy to take any questions from you. I do realize that this is a lot of information. There's so much about SEO that you have marketing professionals who are doing this a long time, who are still learning new things over and over.